right, ladies, it's going to be a quick one tonight because it was a quick read, but I thought an interesting read, and I think we'll learn something. So
I like learning.
All right, let's get into it. Hi, I'm Nikki.
I'm Alyssa.
And I'm Jamie.
And this is America's Ass is a Galcast. Ooh, it's Spooky Ookey Halloween. Welcome to America's Ass is an MCU-centric podcast by women for everybody. Right, ladies?
Absolutely.
You got it.
Surprise! Happy Halloween! We released it a day early. This is our Halloween special. Woo! So, and
I sound like from Beetlejuice.
You do.
What was her name? Gina Davis's character. What was her name in that movie? Oh. Barbara.
Yeah, I was gonna say I just saw it too on TV.
Barbara. Yeah, I tried to get the kids to watch it because that's like right up their alley. They're like, this is lame. You don't know. Yes.
What?
Yes.
I watched that when I was 5 and I remember watching that.
Oh yeah, no, it's not that they scared them. They thought it was lame. Yeah.
I thought it was awesome.
I thought it was awesome.
I thought it was awesome.
I still think it's awesome.
I still think it's awesome.
Right?
Yeah. I'm like, who am I kidding? I still think it's awesome.
Clearly, I've failed my children at this point. Clearly. Maybe
with movies, not with music though.
No, not with music.
No,
my kids have a very
There's still time to get them back on track with new movies.
There is. Although, Alyssa, my son, little man, is obsessed with Ghostbusters. So, that right there is good. It's a good turning point.
That is a good one.
That's a good one.
That's a very good one.
And they love other than obviously we all know that he loves the Minions and the princess loves Star Wars, but
he loves Spider-Man.
He loves Spider-Man. He likes Into the Spider-Verse, which of course, right? It's geared towards kids anyway. But yeah, we're working on him. He wanted to watch it. I'm like, no, you're not watching it. Because he likes to watch.
He's not going to sleep.
No. Even the old one? No. The old one scared me. And I was in high school when the old one came out, and that scared the bejesus out of me. I still haven't watched the new It. I can't. I read the book. It took me 2 years to read the book because it scared the shit out of me. And I've read all of Stephen King's novels. Well, relatively all. He's released a couple in the last few years that I haven't read. Although the latest one.
But all the classics. Yeah, I think.
Right. Yeah.
I know I've read all the classics.
Yeah. The newest one I've read is Dr. Sleep. That was pretty good.
I unfortunately haven't been able to read a book in a very long time. That's why I like our short,
what do I always tell
books.
you?
I like those.
It's called audio books, baby. That's how do you think I've been able to read all the Bridgerton novels? I read them all.
But maybe if I had like a longer commute to work, that would work. But
can you listen to them at work?
No, because everybody's fucking talking to me all the time.
True. Yeah, and you have to pay attention to audiobooks. True.
But I mean, like my commute, I barely get to listen to a full song before I'm at work.
Well, let me tell you, speaking of reading, what we are about to discuss tonight on this dark and stormy night. It is truly a dark and stormy night tonight. It really is.
It really is.
Sure is. It's nasty.
It
sucks.
So I'm taking the helm tonight. And we are doing the 10 best Marvel horror nods in existence.
Ooh.
Which is amazing. I can't wait.
Yes. So this is Marvel Comics proper, not MCU. So we're in uncharted territory for ourselves. Disclaimer. I may sound like an idiot, but consider this as 10 must horror reads that was released and published by Marvel, basically.
Ooh.
Yes.
But before that, what do we have?
Oh, we have Marvel news.
Yeah. Okay, so it's not really Marvel news. It's Chris Evans news.
Close enough, baby. Close enough.
Yeah, it was like, he's the family. It's okay.
He is. It is. It's all relative. We have Lightyear coming out next June, and it's going to be voiced by Chris Evans. He's going to play the OG Buzz Lightyear.
Isn't that awesome?
In Pixar.
Who
Yeah.
has hair?
Right. So I was reading that
So
and they're
weird.
like, well, but he probably, like, Buzz probably did have hair, but he's a toy, and that was just like his suit.
Yeah, his space
Covering
I
up
mean,
his
when you
hair.
go into
His
space, they put the
Right. The
I
cap
don't know if it's
thing.
like flame retardant, but it's almost like NASCAR drivers. They have to wear like that hood for
Right.
safety. But
Right.
Right.
just knowing that that's Buzz Lightyear and seeing him have hair is like
Right.
kind of freaky.
He's so cute though. I want him.
He looks like a dad.
But I like it because of his chin dimple, because I have
Time
one
out.
too.
Time out. Let's address this. The OG Buzzier looks like a dad. Please.
No, the one with hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, he
Please.
looks like a dad.
He's hotter than a dad.
Well, yes, but I'm just saying, like,
He's that DILF.
he looks like
He's a DILF. You know who else is a
yeah.
DILF? You know who else is a DILF? Mr. Big. Huh. I think he's a DILF.
Shocker. Shocker you were gonna say that.
All right. So Buzz Lightyear coming out in June. It's just called Lightyear, right?
Yes.
All right. And that was your
And-
what? Yes.
No, that was it. That was
Okay.
like you heard like one word of his voice in the trailer.
Yeah, he
so
said
far.
one word.
What did
Yeah.
he say?
And
I knew it was a short word. I was like,
Huh.
and yes, something.
All right. Well, that's your Marvel news.
yeah.
So it's Halloweeny. Today, when this releases, it's going to be Halloween. This week, like I said, I am covering the top 10 best dabbles of horror in Marvel Comics. Okay. I got this from an article entitled 10 Times Marvel Dabbled in Horror. And it was an article on CBR.com written by Scott Allan. So I claim no responsibility for this. Like, seriously, I seriously am ripping him off. Okay. So this Scott Allan gets 100% of the credit here. And if anything, it's like going to be our top 10 list of things we need to read by next Halloween. That's what I'm giving myself.
That sounds doable.
Horror for Marvel fans. Here we go. I'm going to go from 10 to 1. Okay. So number 10 was Tomb of Dracula, which sounds delicious in itself, right?
Yeah.
So Tomb of
Mhm.
Dracula was one of Marvel's most successful horror titles, apparently. Oh, one thing you guys need to know too is that Marvel, not just Marvel, but comic books in general was like based around horror originally. And then there was like this big, huge censorship thing going on where it's like, that's too much. No, we can't. And then they couldn't do horror anymore. So, and then they went back to horror like in the 70s. So there's like from the 30s to the 60s or 50s, even there was horror all over the place. And then all of a sudden they were like, no, nay, this is too scary for kids. So no more horror. And then, but then it was, they're like, fuck you. And they started doing horror again in the 70s. I'm not quite sure. I don't quote me on that, but I think that's kind of roughly how it went. So anyway, The Tomb of Dracula was one of Marvel's most successful horror titles. While horror comics and characters were largely banned for years, censors relaxed the rules regarding monsters, which saw a number of new releases by Marvel. So there was like, Marvel was like, okay, let's do this.
Right,
And
you gave me something, we're gonna run with it.
right. So the Tomb of Dracula was
Freedom!
so the Tomb of Dracula was like their most successful for years, along with memorable horror titles like The Monster of Frankenstein and Werewolf by Night was another one that was really good. So here's the awesome part of this is that Blade the Vampire Hunter, which we all know and love, and Mahershala Ali will be the new Blade coming up. He's given Wesley Snipes a run for his money. But anyway, Blade the Vampire Hunter was made his debut in Tomb of Dracula. The series stood out even at the time, and one of the few comics with a villain as a main lead. For us, it's kind of tame, but you know, it was a stepping stone into modern horror comics in the 70s, you know? So that's Tomb of Dracula. That's number 10. Number 9, which I was amazed to read, Freddy Krueger's Nightmare on Elm Street. Marvel made a series called Freddy Krueger's Nightmare on Elm Street. Oh, yes.
I wonder, is it anything like the movies we know?
Well, close to it. It was awesome. It was a black and white publication, and it was like in a magazine format. It was a top seller, but Marvel canceled it after the second issue. Like the first and second issue flew off the shelves, but they canceled it because they were scared that they'd get future complaints regarding the violent nature of and the mature content of the comic. Because at the time, the movies were big and they were being highly criticized at the time. So they just they pulled it after 2 issues, which is a shame because that shit Big Mama is going to be reading. Like, seriously.
Yeah. Like, that's
right.
That's like right up our alley.
Absolutely.
Okay. So number 8. Do you know of I know you know of a guy named Clive Barker, right? Mr. Hellraiser, Mr. Nightbreed, Mr. Candyman himself actually wrote a comic book series. And apparently it was terrible from what I read. I read that it was absolutely terrible.
Wow.
There was only 4 issues and it mainly focused on the characters. Like each issue was focused on a character. Ecto Kid was one. Hokum and Hex was another one. Hyperkind was the third one. And Saint Sinner was the 4th one. And that was all he made. It was just a failed comic is what it was. And so they're like, we're pulling the plug on this. But it took 2 years for him to make 4 shitty comics is what it was. But this guy, Scott Allan, is recommending it. So, you know, we'll see. We'll see. I don't know if I will. Well, I don't know. I probably would read it just because it's Clive Barker and I love Clive Barker. So, all right. Number 7 is called Hellstorm, Prince of Lies, and the Prince of Lies series and Druid. So I don't know what these are. I'm just going to read you what he said. Fans may not remember the mostly forgettable Hellstorm Prince of Lies series in the 90s that revamped Damien Hellstorm, or the son of Satan. That's the character. He's the son of Satan named Damien Hellstorm. And it was a flop. But the final issue of the series was highly celebrated because it was horrifically dark. And it was like the best.
Yeah, you're going to say because it was over.
Yeah! That too. Even though Hellstorm was canceled, fans still followed the creative team behind it into the 1995's Druid miniseries, where Dr. Druid was struggling with his past failures as an Avenger, which saw him make a dark deal for more power. Ooh. So it looks here. So Druid features one of Marvel's most surprisingly twisted takes on the character, and it should be a must read for horror fans. So Druid is really the takeaway here, not Hellstorm. Hellstorm was the stepping stone for Druid, I guess. So Druid is on the list, I guess. Okay, so we'll mark that for essential horror reading this year. All right, number 6, Rise of the Midnight Suns. This sounds interesting, ladies. We've got vampires. This is going to be great. A number of other horror titles were released in the 90s that explored the supernatural side of the Marvel universe, most of which connected to the rise of Midnight Suns. Ghost Rider and Johnny Blaze from the team that included Blade and his team of Darkstalkers, as well as Morbius, the living vampire. Characters like Doctor Strange joined the Darkhold Redeemers to fight against Lilith and the other supernatural enemies. The team lasted for a few crossover events and united the Midnight Suns and their respective characters together for a few horror-filled years in the 90s before that whole storyline was just discontinued. So that sounds interesting to me. Rise of the Midnight Suns. We got to do homework on that.
I'm like, that one seems like more up your alley. I don't really do vampires.
Vampires are okay, I mean.
Yeah, they're not my favorite. Like,
I don't hate them. I don't love them. I'm not like all about them, but I do appreciate them. I like classic vampires. Vampires after like Lost Boys just don't do it for me. Oh no, I take that back. Vampire Lestat. I read that whole series.
Yeah, see, I just couldn't get into them.
I loved that. But movie wise or anything like that, like, no, I don't dig. I'm sorry, the vampires are not supposed to fucking sparkle in the sun.
No, it's supposed to be the opposite.
So the other day, like, I don't know what I was flipping through or nothing was on or something. And I watched Twilight for like 10 minutes. I can't
fucking do it.
And I'm like, and I was into like that whole craze when I was a teenager.
Right. Yeah.
And everything. And then I'm like watching it again now. And I was like, this is the stupidest shit I've ever.
No, never.
Like, this is so dumb.
That's what I'm saying. I can't get into them.
I watched that movie. So I've seen all the movies, but only as like riff tracks. So the guys who did Mystery Science Theater 3000 went off on their own. A few of the guys went off on their own and they started doing a series called Riff Tracks. They have like a 24-hour Riff Tracks on Pluto TV. And they do the, what is that series you were talking about?
Twilight.
Breaking Dawn or whatever. Yeah, Twilight. The Twilight series. They do riff tracks of the Twilight series, and it's hilarious. And that's the only way I could probably.
I'm sure that would have been funnier.
Yeah, yeah. It's the only way I can stomach it. But let me tell you, Rick Springfield hits a lot differently when you're 43-year-old mother married for 11 years when you watch that movie. I'm like, that's her dad. That's Rick Springfield. I'll be Jesse's girl. I'm like, man. Man, yeah, you're old when you're like, the dads are hot. You're like, oh, damn it.
Yeah, we're officially old.
Officially old.
Yep.
Officially old. So
that's okay.
I'm more of a zombie gal, though. I like me some zombies. Not the running ones. Those are fake zombies. Don't get me started.
Yeah, they don't run. No,
zombies don't run. As we will get to zombies in tonight's Halloween special.
Ooh.
So, okay. So number 5, we're almost done. Number 5, Submariner, The Depths, which you guys saw something about Submariner last week. You mentioned something about him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, listed.
Yeah. So in 2008, Marvel published Submariner, The Depths, a Marvel Knights series that took place in the 50s and has more in common with like tense psychological horrors like The Thing or The Terror along those lines than most Marvel superhero comics does. Okay. So a research scientist set out with a submarine crew on an expedition to disprove the existence of Atlantis, with Namor How do you pronounce it? Namor? Namor?
Namor?
Namor?
I don't know.
Namor.
Yeah, I think I said it a couple different ways.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe Mr. Z can tell me tomorrow. Or Mr. Big. I'll ask Mr. Big or Mr. Z. So Namor I like Namor. It sounds better. It sounds I don't know, fancier. So with Namor taking the place of the monster as he protected his underwater kingdom. And it's a mini series that showcased a darker side of the Submariner while also exploring the traumatic effects of fear on an exhibition with an exhibition crew. So that sounds fun. It's like Jacques Cousteau found the Kraken. Right? The Kraken. Did you ever see that Disney cartoon? Where we're going to the wonders of the deep. And they go like it's him, Donald, Goofy, and they go with the Dr. Von Duckenstein or whatever his name is.
Oh, yeah.
And they go down.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the what is it? The oxygen gets cut off, and they're like they think they're dancing with mermaids, and it's the Kraken. So funny. God, I love those cartoons. They're so funny. They're made for adults, not children. I will tell you that. Half of those cartoons are not made for kids. Like SpongeBob SquarePants. My kids are into SpongeBob SquarePants. Nope, not made for kids. Right over their heads. I'm laughing hysterically. I'm like, this is so dirty. Ren and Stimpy. Not made for kids. Yeah. Yet we warped our brains at Ren and Stimpy. You know. All right, here we go. Number 4. Haunt of Horror. The Haunt of Horror carried on the tradition of Marvel classic horror comics from the 50s when it debuted in 73 as an anthology. Now, this is the one I want to read. The series, this one's like probably going to be the first or second one I read. The series failed to launch like some of Marvel's other horror series, and they only released a few issues in the 70s. Marvel brought back Haunt of Horror in 2006 as a miniseries. Now, this is the one I want to read. So the miniseries from Richard Corbin that adapted classic literary horrors. So the first mini-series explored a few popular stories from Edgar Allan Poe, which was followed by Lovecraft. So you know they did Cthulhu, because that's like his most famous one. And fans just went wild for it. It's called Haunt of Horror, specifically the 2006 miniseries by Richard Corbin. That's something we got put on the list too. Number 3. So, okay, ladies, top 3. Here we go.
Roll boy.
Dead of Night, another Marvel anthology horror that was released in the 70s during the horror like resurgence, right? Because they couldn't have it for so many years. They're like, we're going to put out all this horror content because these dick nuts just won't let us have it, you know? And the series reprinted older stories from 50s classics like Adventures into the Weird Worlds and Strange Tales, which we've covered before, the Strange Tales. Dead of Night was relaunched with a focus on dark supernatural creatures of the Marvel universe. Marvel monsters like Man-Thing and Werewolf by Night, each receiving their own miniseries. While a new version of Devil Slayer was introduced in the war-torn, demon-filled horror story that frankly sounds like something that I need to buy. Like, I need to buy this right now. Devil Slayer? Man-Thing? Werewolf by Night? Like, we knew about Man-Thing, but like, man, this shit sounds good. Oh, man. Number 2, I was very surprised. If you were surprised by Freddy Krueger,
yeah,
you're going to be surprised by this one too. George A. Romero's Empire of the Dead. Yes.
Get out of here.
Yes.
What?
Yes.
Was this? Okay, keep going. I need to listen.
Just listen. George A. Romero, the director of The Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead, all of the classics, right? He basically invented zombies. Like he didn't invent zombies, but he invented what we now know in popular culture as a zombie, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he is our favorite. He explored his own legacy in 2014's George A. Romero's Empire of the Dead. Years after the zombie apocalypse, the city of Manhattan became an isolated safe haven that was revealed to be under the control of vampires. So it's mixing two worlds into one. The series was filled with a graphic horror perfect for the genre that also connected to the original Night of the Living Dead and is filled with the same social commentary that made Romero's cinematic zombie franchise such a huge success. So yes, we will be reading George A. Romero's Empire of the Dead.
Well, of course it was duly titled Empire of the Dead. I think that was like the only word he didn't use in his actual movies.
Right? Right. He was running out of words. What other words could he use?
It was like land, dawn, night, day.
There's more. He's done a lot of movies.
Trying to think off the top of my head.
So anyway, are you guys ready for number one? I think you know what number one is. Because Okay, so Marvel Zombies, baby. Now, we know this, and we know how fucked up it is because it was written by Robert Kirkman and Sean Phillips. So we know how fucked up it is. We went through it. If you don't know how fucked up Marvel Zombies is, go back to our Marvel What If episode, the zombie episode, and we discuss all about it because it's fucking disgusting, but fucking fascinating. So that is your top 10 horror Marvel Comics nods, I guess. So there you go.
Whoa.
Who would have thought?
Happy Halloween. Yeah, some of those
for Nikki for coming up with this topic because it is so fitting right now.
Or today. I'm like, oh, I read this article like back in September, and then it popped back up. It popped back up in like my feeds. I was like, oh yeah, we got to do this. We got to do this. We got to talk about this because it's one, we haven't read any of these. None of these.
No.
But you know what? I'm giving myself, you ladies are more than welcome to join me. I am giving myself to read all of these 1 year. 1 year.
I'll read all of them. I will read some of them though. Like I said, vampires don't do it for me.
Right.
No.
Dead of Night, I'm definitely going to read. And George A. Romero's Empire of the Dead, I'm definitely going to read. Haunt of Horror. Basically the top 5. The Submariner. That one I want to read. Oh, Rise of the Midnight Suns, I want to read too. I want to read them all. The Freddy Krueger Nightmare on Elm Street series, I want to read that too. I don't know about the Clive Barker. That sounds stupid. But, I mean, everybody says that it was just a shitty comic, and it took, 2 years for him to come out with 4 shitty comics. Whatever. One of my good friends used to work for Clive Barker. So, and he was, I don't want to say anything, but yeah, he had an experience with Clive Barker. So, but I'm a fan of his movies. I'll tell you that. I love his movies. So, but yeah, we wanted to do a little Halloween special for you folks. Our OG 6+.
Yay!
We hope you like Halloween as much as we do.
Oh,
Yes.
Yes, Halloween is definitely one of our favorite holidays. But it's our aesthetic, right? That's what it's my new word. It's my word of the day.
The new word of the day
is aesthetic. Because I wear bats and well, look at I wore this today because it's fitting, my bat shirt. But I will wear this year round. Like I don't just wear it. It's
not seasonal.
No, my quote, other people's quote Halloween clothes are just my clothes.
Tuesday clothes, yeah.
Yes. You know what I had? I had this shirt of it was a shirt with Vincent Price and Kermit the Frog, with both of them with vampire teeth. And it was a shirt with just that picture on it. And I remember I got it at Toward like 20 years ago. And I wore that fucker out. I wore it out, and I have been looking everywhere for that shirt. That was my favorite shirt. Man, I don't know. I'm sure somebody's got to have it somewhere, right?
Google it. I'm sure you could find it on Etsy.
I'm sure. I'm sure
somewhere.
You're right. So with that, we want to wish you all a happy Halloweeny. Stay safe. Make good choices.
Have fun.
Have fun.
Eat your candy.
Yes. Pig out.
Oh, one thing. I have a question. Have you guys seen some of these news outlets are like, cops are warning parents to check your children's candy for edibles that look like.
I've seen that. And they're like, seriously, nobody is going to get rid of their edibles.
No.
Are you kidding? That shit's expensive. Get out of here.
It is.
Like,
ain't nobody going to be doing that. Let's be honest.
Are you kidding me? Anybody I know who does it, none of them would mistakenly give a kid a gummy. None of them. Oh, these people. So naive. So stupid.
I know. Well, my favorite thing. You can't fix stupid.
You're right. And on that note, Liz, what do you got for us, baby?
Find us wherever you listen to podcasts. We are on Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, and Anchor. And we are also on Facebook and Instagram.
And if you want to email us, your Halloween traditions, your Halloween movie recommendations, or if you've read any of the top 10 that Nikki just listed, let us know, because we haven't, and maybe it'll give us a starting point of which one to read first.
Yeah,
good idea. You can do so by emailing us at americasassesgalcast@gmail.com.
And there's another thing you could do for us. You could like us,
love us,
follow us,
rate us,
review us,
and subscribe to us.
And one more thing. I love you.
Love you.
I love you.
3,000.
Okay, I'm confused.
Oh.
Okay, so Nikki was saying what she was going to get her parents for Christmas.
Go ahead.
So she's getting her mom an Instapot, and then she's going to give her dad the dog DNA test.
For baby Buddy.
Yeah.
Right. For his best friend.
So I went to look up where I had gotten Hetty's from, which is Wisdom Panel. And so, of course, I had to reset my password. And now it's saying she's 6 different breeds. So originally, what they had given me. Exactly. I'm so confused. That's why I'm so confused. So it said, originally she was 37.5% Beagle, 25% Miniature Pinscher, 25% Pomeranian, and 12.5% Chihuahua. Which makes sense. So now
that's
they said,
4? I lost count.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was 4. So now they detected 6 breeds. I just logged in and now it says it's 6. Now
they
it's saying,
continually run her DNA. Like, what the fuck?
I don't know. So now it says she's 46% Beagle, 23% Chihuahua, 16% Pomeranian, and 2% Labrador Retriever.
No.
I'm so confused.
Wait, can you?
I detect a lie.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry.
I smell some bullshit.
Wait, 46 Beagle, 23 Chihuahua, 12% Miniature Pinscher, 16% Pomeranian, and 2% Labrador Retriever.
Oh,
So
shit.
now,
Yeah.
and
No.
1% Basset Hound.
No. Maybe
So
the Basset Hound.
where did the Labrador Retriever and the Basset Hound come from? The other ones are the same, but now where did Basset Hound and Labrador Retriever come in? I'm so confused.
I'd be like, I'd write them, be like, listen, I'm confused.
Which, I mean, looking at the pictures about
Labrador Retriever, that's a bigger
big
dog.
But like
he's
looking
tiny.
at these, like she looks like a
Not
miniature pinscher with a beagle face.
Right.
Like, if you look,
yes, she does.
If you look at the picture that they show, that's her. Like that's her body.
Yeah.
Except she's got like a beagle and chihuahua face.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So confused. So confused.
Imagine, like,
Because I wanted
how the hell did it? Wait, I got a question. How the hell did that black lab or that Labrador Retriever do it with
Mount
a
a
fucking
Chihuahua?
Pomeranian? Like,
Right.
they're
Or
all
a
little,
Chihuahua.
right? They're all little dogs. Like, and how the hell did that little, or if the Chihuahua was the man, how did he get up on that lab?
That's what I'm saying. How do they
I
mount?
want to know. I want to know how she had that poor little thing had 2 puppies at once. Like, because she's
The
like,
body can do mysterious things.
well, true.
Look at this little thing had 2 babies at once. Come on.
Mhm.
True.
What do you say?
Wait, Nikki, what's your email? At Gmail?
No, at Yahoo. I'm an Xer, baby. I've had a Yahoo account for 25 years.
Same.
I have a
But not
Yahoo,
25.
an AOL, and a
AOL.
Gmail.
I remember putting in people's yearbooks like my 3 like AOL like instant messenger.
Yeah, your handles.
And of course they were like super freaking long too.
Man. Dago Chick was mine. That was my handle. Dago Chick.
I love it.
No, it wasn't
Okay,
just
I just
Dago. It was
sent you.
Dago Chick 007 is what it was.
007.
I was a weird 15-year-old. You know?
Mine was like Italia chick.
Italia Chick. Hey, we're proud of our heritage. What can we say?
Apparently.
I had 2. Mine was Artist J23
Okay.
and then Nacho 1397.
I love it.
And the Nacho came from a nickname that I got from my basketball days. I was the first female in my school to get a technical foul because, of course, I got tripped going up the court after stealing a ball. And bitch just straight up tripped me, and I was like, Jesus Christ! And my teammates are like, she didn't say Jesus, she said cheese, like nacho cheese.
I really want
Ask
to
Me
for
too.
Christmas.
I don't know.
know where I would put it though.
Right. Well, they have this thing called a Cricut Joy, which it's small. It's compact. So you could do that. It's for like smaller projects. But yeah.
Like
I
I would
mean-
just do it like for decals and stuff, I feel.
Yeah. Yeah, I would too. I want to make a Sticks shirt for
I don't have
Mr. Man.
time.
Well, yeah, that too.
But it all looks cool. I love it.
Yeah. So,
Like
but yeah.
I feel like it's a second job when you have
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely like an intense hobby.
Right.
Right. So
like
that's why, like,
scrapbooking. Like I tried to get into that and I was like, I don't have the space or the time to do that.
mhm.
I think
So,
it's really
like,
cool.
I asked Big Mama and the greatest man alive, my father, I asked them for this humongous Lego kit, and it's a gingerbread house. That's what I asked for my birthday and Christmas, because I get combo gifts now. I'm old enough to get combo gifts and not feel jaded. So
Well, because you get one big huge gift.
right. And now I can appreciate it. Where as a kid, I was like, but yeah, no. But now I'm like,
only getting one.
yeah, right, exactly. So now, so I asked Big Mama and the greatest man alive for that. I I was throwing hints at Mr. Big about a new mixer, a new KitchenAid, because mine is on its last legs.
Hint, hint, wink, wink.
Right. So I think he caught it. Well, if he didn't catch it, he'll catch it now.
He's going to catch it now.
To this podcast.
Yeah, catch it now, mister.
Yeah.
So yeah, I need, and even if he doesn't get it for me, which is fine, it's really expensive. So I really can't, there's a part of me that if he did get it for me, I would feel so incredibly guilty because he spent hundreds of dollars when that's money we could have spent on our kids kind of thing, you know?
But it's not like you won't use it.
Your mixer all the time. You're making cakes.
Right. It's not like you wouldn't get good use out of it for sure.
Well, true.
Like
it's not like it would just sit there.
Bought me a Cricut because I'm not going to use it, and it would just sit there, and that's hundreds of dollars just sitting. Yeah. You, on the other hand, use your mixers more than I think I use my hand mixer.
Yeah, I do use it almost daily. Well, not lately,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think that's something that I don't know. It's very expensive, and I think that's something we need to. Because I only want a KitchenAid. I don't want, I do not want, anything close and not even an off-brand. Right. Was it the GE version, or there's a couple other mixers that are very good mixers that are not KitchenAid, but I want a KitchenAid. That's what I like. I've had 2 KitchenAids now. This will be my 3rd. So I'm a loyalist, I guess. And that's too expensive to really put upon him. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. Changing the subject.
This has been America's Assist.